What do we want? Justice! And when do we want it? Now! What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! She's all over the shop.
Mate, you don't know the arguments I've been having.
On this day though, I'd like to remember Marshall Millions, that's why we're here, yeah? I'd like everyone to try and light a candle, everyone's put your hands up in the air please, yeah? And everyone just for 30 seconds, just...
Rest in peace, Marshall and Millions.
Gone but not forgotten.
I'd like to let my partner...
Gone but not forgotten.
So basically, Marshall was the oldest one, yeah? Known him since he was a pup, like, small in my arms, yeah? Good as gold, like, you walk him off, like, take him off a lead and that, he don't bother no one, like, he was good, everything, like, he just wanted to, like, he was interested in the world, like, he wanted to know what, like, leaves were and twigs, and he didn't even care about people, he didn't want to know who people were, he just wanted to know what nature was, like, it was a gentle giant, yeah? Marshall, like, he got on his back legs, he's up on my shoulders, like, he just give me cuddles, like, Mills, he wasn't even a year old, mate, yeah? Like...
9 months old, yeah?
Yeah.
9 months.
He weren't even a fucking year old, yeah? And that's what they do to them, yeah? Like, you see, they were the most loving dogs in the world. You see, like, you could get a Chihuahua, yeah? And they are more dangerous than what them 2 dogs were, yeah? And you get...
Brutality!
Yeah, exactly, that's what it was. Yeah, them dogs, they were good as gold, yeah, they could, like, you walk them in the streets, the kids are going up to him, trying to stroke him, like, Mills loved it, all he wanted to do was play with people, he was a puppy, he didn't know anything else, like, he did not know nothing, all he wanted to do was play, and like, yeah, and he learned off his older brother, that's what he done, yeah, he followed Marshall's lead, and Marshall, he was good. Rest in peace, boys. We love you. I think Lou, I think you should come up and say a few words for the boys.
Father, Daddy.
Yeah, now we get Daddy up here.
Daddy has to say.
Come on, Lou, boy!
Master Lou.
I'm sorry, but this is really difficult for me. Like, I'm struggling with it. Like,
We feel for you, mate.
I've had them since they were puppies, and then like put them taken away like that. Right in front of my face, is like shot. Like I'm covered in the dog's blood. Like, it was just so disgusting. Like, all I was trying to do was get them back in the boat, and then I was going to come out and speak to the police. But they weren't having it, man. They pulled out all their weapons, and they were intimidating me and the dogs, and all they were doing was trying to like protect me. You know what I mean? I had them on the lead. I was pulling my way.
They just felt like they was in danger, yeah?
Yeah, like
The police set out to kill him,
they
mate.
just
set out to kill him.
they murdered them.
They come out to kill
They
him.
murdered them 2 dogs.
done it.
And
They
like,
have no respect for life. The Metropolitan Police have
it's
no
totally
respect for life.
disgusting. You know what I mean? Like,
Rapists, murderers.
Yeah,
Totally
rapists,
disgusting.
murderers!
Animal killers! You lot been on the news for what? This last few months? And you just changed your commissioner? I'd be fucking ashamed. I'd change police force, mate. I would. Yeah? There's no offence being a police officer, there's been offence being metropolitan. Yeah?
I don't know how long it's going to take for me to get back to normal. I just like to say thank you to everybody who turned up here today. Like, and God bless you all, man.
God bless
thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Rest in peace,
Rest in peace.
Thank you.
justice!
Woo!
Seen all of
End! Yes, you need to end for yourself.
Rest in peace, boys.
They're getting disbanded. There were 2 separate police forces.
A life cut short. 2 lives cut short.
Is the officer going to be done for animal cruelty?
Are you gonna take his gun off him?
Bring it back again to the reason that we're here for Marshall and Mills. And I think in these moments it's really important that we come together as a community to look after each other and support each other. Particularly those people who are closest to Marshall and Mills, who are feeling so much pain right now and need our love and need our support. So please.
I'm Lou. What the police did to Marshall and Mills on Sunday is incomprehensible. Their 2 lives unjustly taken. I'm hurt. I'm hurt deep in my soul. It passes through every layer of me, down to my bones, cold like steel in the night. I hurt for Marshall and Mills, who were brutally murdered by those in uniform, who as children we are told we can trust. I hurt for the people who knew Marshall and Mills, who had seen them as the sweet, loving dogs they are. And I hurt for everyone who was touched by the violence of that day. And I'm sure I'm not alone. We each here share some of that hurt, and that is why we are gathered here. We want the police to know that what they did was unequivocally wrong, and that we will hold them to account. Not only for the killing of Mills and Marshall, but also for Love and Libby. For those of you who don't know, we rescued 20 puppies from MBR Acres in December. 18 of those dogs are living safe and happy lives. But 2, Love and Libby, were taken by the police and returned to MBR. The police knew that Love and Libby would be neglected, abused and killed at MBR, but they sent them anyway. And so it is easy to see why we do not trust the police, for they clearly do not act according to any moral code. They are not interested in protecting all life equally. And when they mess up, there are no consequences. I experienced this firsthand on Saturday when I and 13 others were wrongfully arrested. The alleged offence that we might be going to protest at the coronation. Putting aside the fact that they had the wrong people at the wrong place and absolutely no evidence, the police violated our human right to freedom of assembly. It was a violation. And in my 14 hours in custody, all I could think about were all of the people before me who have been falsely arrested or imprisoned, who have been persecuted and continue to be persecuted by a police force that makes mistakes so often they can no longer be called mistakes.
Love and Libby!
The system is sick and it is broken. It is one where people of color, women and girls, people with disabilities, LGBTQI people are disproportionately oppressed, always. The police force is responsible for the violence and repression that has traumatized generations. It is not fit for purpose and it has to change. To do this, we must join our voices with other groups. We must organize and we must act. Nothing will change unless we do the changing. Love, Libby, Mills, and Marshall are just 4 of the police's countless victims. I honor them and I honor all of the others whose names I do not know.
makes I feel so upset. Yesterday, I can't even remember, I'm so upset right now. I just sat down eating my breakfast and I opened up this just absolutely just horrific video. It was horrible. And I saw you there in that video at Marshall Mills, and I literally just shouted at the phone. I just shouted, watching it unfold, just saying no. And I don't know. I never normally get this emotional. I'm sorry. And I shouted no, because it's just horrible. This just should never have happened.
Brutality.
And it's just the callousness, the callousness and the contempt that they treated.
And if any of you agree with this video, you do not need to be in your fucking jobs.
Let him speak. It's my test. Let him speak.
And I think the reason why I feel so hurt and so angry, and the reason we all do, is because of the deep love we feel for these animals.
Yeah, it's true, isn't it?
Like, we've been around dogs and
I've got a dog named Bella, and she is family. She's family. I love her so much.
she's your mother,
Yeah, she is.
your fur baby.
And it's just so wrong. It's just so wrong what happened.
Agree with you totally.
Protect the innocent, but only when it suits you.
Exactly.
So I'd like to share some other stories of other animals who have been treated in this way by the police.
Please do, let awareness.
So about 6 or 7 years ago, there was a cow whose name was Bessie. And she escaped from a farm.
Did they kill her too?
Of course they did.
They did.
They did.
And she was all she was doing. She was standing.
A cow. Who's a cow biting? An aggressive cow?
She was standing on a field.
They're the cowards. The police. They're cowards. That's why they shoot innocent people.
She was standing on the grass, just eating the grass. That's all she was doing. She was literally just standing there. And in response, the police got dozens of police officers, 20 squad cars, a helicopter, and 6 sniper rifles. And they shot her. They shot her.
Definitely not alright.
Simply because she was in the wrong place. Because she chose not to be on that farm anymore. And tried to escape the death sentence which she would have experienced there. And they shot her in broad daylight, just like they did for Marshall and Mills.
Defund the police!
How do they sleep at night?
20 years ago, there was an elephant called Tyke.
I remember that.
A lot of people will remember this story because the images of her getting killed by 80 police officers.
Shot hundreds of times.
Shot hundreds of times because she escaped a circus. After years and years of abuse, she had enough and ran away. And in response, the police... Hello? Yeah! Fine. And in response, the police surrounded her and shot her over 100 times. And it was broadcast around the world. This was on live TV. And just like we're experiencing here today, people's hearts opened for that poor animal, and people could see this was wrong. And after that happened with Tyke, and those images went around and touched the hearts of so many millions, it brought about tremendous change, because people came together and they organised in response to this brutality and this suffering experienced by Tyke and so many other animals. And we saw around the world after that moment, the use of wild animals in circuses was ended in so many places. I hope and I pray that this is a moment that we can really consider what is right and what is wrong and come together and organise with that deep feeling of love to make change so this horrific stuff doesn't have to keep happening.
They've got their own rights, they've got their own wrongs, mate. It's up to them, it's up to us, it's up to them, bruv. They've got their rules, we haven't got no rules, we got to abide by their rules. When they want, how they want, when you got to do it. Great, Max, yeah, yes, no sir.
All I want to say is that we're here at Animal Rising. Our goal is to build a mass movement for animals. So that for once we can stand up and challenge this stuff. We're taking action all summer and we will continue on after that, and our goal is to fill the streets with people, with love, and to demand change so that this never has to happen again.
We're all winners! Let's do it and win!
Such a fucking hard day today. It's so sad. It's so fucking sad. There's so much pain here. There's so much pain here.
My partner.
We all fucking feel it.
He's beating the other.
Right? We're so angry. And we're right to be angry. But underneath that, there's so much pain.
I'll let you talk to me.
Yeah.
You've got my Facebook.
And these police, I want to look at you in the eye. Because you've done a job that requires you to stop listening to your heart. I literally don't know how you do it as individuals. You are people too with hearts. I literally don't know how you can just put your heart to the side, and if someone tells you to shoot a dog in cold blood, you just shoot the dog. I don't know how you can do that. You all have a heart. You all have a heart.
No respect for life, human or non-human. No respect.
All it took today, or on Sunday, was a phone call from one person saying that there were some vicious dogs. And what better reflects our broken relationship with animals, that the response to that is to send 9 officers with lethal weapons without any evidence to then gun some dogs. Innocent, beautiful, lovely dogs. I cried so much when I saw that video of these beautiful dogs being so gentle and kind.
It was an execution.
It was an execution. And doesn't that reflect our relationship with animals? All it took was a little phone call. Imagine if that was a middle-class white man. It would be very different. It's a disgrace. So I guess this message is for the individuals that are standing here right now. For every single one of you that can hear me right now. What we need, everyone needs, guys, can I have your attention just a moment, really quickly. What we need more than ever before is to open our hearts and to feel. It's scary, it's horrible, but we've got to feel it. We've got to feel it. It's horrible, it's painful, but we must feel the pain. Because without it we can't process it, and we'll just act out of anger. And that's not something we can afford to do. That's not going to bring change. I hate to say it, but anger's not going to bring change. It's understandable, it's totally allowed, but that's not what's going to change. Heart is what is going to change us, guys. Heart is what is the only thing that can change the situation that we're in all over the world. There's so many problems, and it breaks my heart, but we've got to feel it. And that goes for every single one of you officers. You have got a heart, you've got feelings. Now listen to it, please. Please listen to it. People are dying, there's so much pain, there's so much suffering. Please, look me in the eye. Look me in the eye. Look me in the eye. There's so much pain here, and you are facilitating that pain. You are facilitating it. Please, have a heart. Listen to your heart. It's so important. This world needs you
to take a stand on what's right. Because what's happening right now is not right, and you are doing something that is not right. You're helping facilitate that. There's so much pain. Stop being a servant to the elite.
Yes!
Thank you for listening. I'll draw it to a close there. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming and showing your support. And I'm so sorry for all of you family members who've lost your family on Sunday. I can't imagine how painful that must have been. Please, I'm so sorry to you, brother. I'm so sorry. So much love to you.
You lot should be saying sorry, not him.
Dreams are hard to follow, so don't you let anyone tear them away. Just hold on, there will be tomorrow. In time, you'll find a way. Then a hero comes along with the strength to carry on, and you cast your fears aside, and you know you can survive. And when you feel like hope is gone, look inside you and be strong, and you'll finally see the truth, that a hero lies in you.
I know, I can see by their body language of the dogs. I'm not too interested in the dogs. Honestly, it's the most horrific thing. It's the most horrific thing I've ever watched. Horrific. Oh, mate. So
Seriously, you lot need to seriously take a step back from what you represent, because it is a shocking organisation that hasn't even said anything that was wrong with what happened. We've all seen the footage. Why do you think we're here? We've seen the most horrific footage I've ever seen that's come from your organisation. Forget, it outdoes anything I've seen on any film. The evilness that flowed through that officer while he shot those dogs was unbelievable. So if no one's going to condemn it, or no one's even going to apologise, you are just as bad as him. And you should hang your heads in shame for who you work for, what you represent. Complicit, gutless, trash. That's it.